mics are on.
Here's Mike right now.
Good morning. Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm going to be your host. My co-host here is Hillari Wennerstrom, former select woman and school committee woman. Mike Dillon just walked in, and he's going to be our guest. And so, do get your coffee.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dreary day this morning.
It is, and I've always heard that people get a little crazy at the end of the connector. I have to say, I've never experienced it until this morning. Clear as day, red light, we're turning left. Somebody came barreling down in that right-hand lane and never, we had the red arrow, never even stopped, just flew right through it, took the left, and
They're a high-ranking Democrat.
they're,
High-ranking Democrats do that. That's how you can tell the high-ranking Democrats. They ignore the lights.
Good morning, Mike.
The Democratic City.
It kind of took me by surprise. I try not to take my life into my own hands that early in the morning. Although some might say me driving in the dark is taking my life into my own hands. But, I was a little shocked. Came flying down, never even hit the brakes. Just took that left with a red arrow, the end of the connector, and off they went.
And you waggled your finger out the window. Don't try that in Tingsboro, buddy.
Not in Abridge.
I didn't. I didn't. I just sat there thinking, like, keep your head down.
I
Don't
think you'd be
look-
finger
don't look
waggling.
left or right.
Well, it's foggy or something in their little minds, so they don't know. Well, Mike Dillon, what do you think about what's been going on nationally? Do you think after the Charlie, that things are going in a different direction?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I've been thinking a lot about it because the last time I was here was September 10th, and I remember particularly, I talked about two things that day that were relevant. One was that Christianity is under attack right now, and the other is that the left has a very difficult time recognizing when they've gone too far.
Yeah.
Which is true. I think we can look at it and look at the right. I think everybody knows when the right goes too far, and it's easy to call out, but the left wraps everything in gift wrapping, and they refuse to call out when they go too far. And I went home, and just a couple hours later, my wife showed me a video, not knowing what it was, and
Shocking.
I mean, it's been a while since I've reacted to something like that. I see a lot of that stuff in real life, and the video was shocking. And all I could say to my wife was that this is going to be significant. I didn't know exactly how, but
It's amazing to me that,
a big deal.
Yeah, he's changed, and his death is amazing. He was making an impact, and the thing about him was that there was nothing hostile or aggressive about him,
No, the exact opposite, in fact.
and they had to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
They never expected it to backfire, to get the pushback they've gotten. Your generation has really stepped up.
Yeah. And the impact.
Thank God.
It's hard to think about somebody's life having that type of a purpose. That him dying actually created maybe something better at the end. But I can't go back. I can't help but go back to thinking about it that way.
I remember because you and Greg Pappas were on.
Yeah. Yep.
And we were talking about the dark angels and all of that, and it was like, in fact, I texted Greg.
It was a couple hours after.
Yeah, I said, "Oh my God, it's happening."
Yep.
It's sort of. What do you think, Hillary? Do you get any?
I think if anything, it's just shown that there's a group of people that can have a differing opinion from others and still be very respectful and still get a message across. And I think, hopefully that is what comes of it, is that you can disagree with someone politically and you don't have to, attack them. Unfortunately, he was attacked, and that's not lost on me that there was violence in this, and that's what caused it. But, he had a differing message than other people, but it was a very respectful, open dialogue. He had very strong feelings about certain things, but I think he showed that you can have conversations and you can enter into conversations with people who you disagree with, and that you can share your message in a respectful way.
What do you guys think about the accusation that the Israelis were involved with the assassination?
You're going to hear everything about it.
Right, I was going to say,
I
we
don't
still
see
talk
that.
about JFK's assassination was, related to,
No, I
different
can't.
things.
No, that never. I'm more the Christianity issue. It affected me in the fact that I was ashamed that I stepped back from my Christianity, in the sense of because the left was, the woke society made it so difficult, and oh my God, if you mentioned anything about
Well, that's what I was talking about. That I'm
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
The basic moral values of Christian beliefs are anti the entire Marxist, socialist, far left ideology right now. If you were brought up with Christian values, then you are much less susceptible to being influenced by it.
right.
And that's part of what I was saying, that Christianity is under attack right now, and it's acceptably under attack by people who want to push a far left agenda. There's Christian slaughter going on in Africa right now.
Oh yes.
And people don't seem to be up in arms about it whatsoever. And then Charlie Kirk just proved it. The depths of hell came rising up
Yeah.
on the day that he died. And it's sad that people, no matter what your thoughts are, that people are allowing themselves to be taken by it.
Well,
It's evil.
well, and it's also, I find that it's just disheartening that we've become, a society that immediately had to, on some level, attack him and say, and make that about, something other than what it was, which was pure evil, right?
Yes.
Going and taking someone's life like that in that manner with no regard, is just, in my mind, pure evil. And so the fact that we've, become a society that on some level somebody can justify it and justify that act is beyond me.
It's never right. I never realized there was such hostility. I mean, I remember in your elections, and I did see an underlying hostility and anger, and it coming out, festering. But I didn't realize that we had the hate that we have. I mean, drive by the bridge on a Saturday, it's unbelievable to me that they have no life, that they're standing with these handmade signs. And but what went on as far as Tingsboro talks, I completely blocked that, and it sickened me. And I'm sick to death of people saying, well, I have, a right of free speech. Well, that goes both ways. And I would never think, and I don't think anybody that I know of in my possible realm of people that have been involved would think to shoot you because you disagreed with them. And it's never right. And to just imply in any level that that's okay to shoot people is just not acceptable behavior.
In Massachusetts, nobody goes to jail for it. Remember, we passed a law, we catch you with a gun, no stopping it, you're going to jail. Nobody went to jail. Thank you, Democrats.
You know what? The free speech argument just gets clouded up. You can say whatever you want, but we still have to be able to identify evil when it's right in front of us. And so no matter what your opinion is, no matter what direction evil goes in, and the left just doesn't believe that evil can come from their party, their side, their belief, because when you sugarcoat everything that you say with light and fluffy words, and we don't even know what words mean anymore because
That's right.
they've just abused terms that when you call everyone a racist and every phobia word in the book, and you call Trump Hitler, and we don't even have meaning for what evil is anymore because we've just sullied those words so much that they don't even have a meaning. I mean, if you're not getting called racist today, then you're probably not talking enough. It's just, it's pathetic. So now
Yeah.
when racism does happen or when evil things do happen, we don't even have words for them because they've muddied the waters with terminology, and that's part of the reason why we can't have conversations. When me and you start, not me and you particularly, but when you start a conversation with someone, they've got in their mind a completely different set of definitions for what evil is.
Yeah.
And what these words mean. And that's why it's very difficult to have a conversation when there's a large group of people that just hear that racist, white national, Christian, heterosexual male Charlie Kirk got shot. Well, you add all those words up together and people are like, good.
Yes, I know.
And it's pretty easy to see that something like that is going to happen when you take over the English language that way.
Well, I think when you can find, no matter what the situation is, an ability to justify it in some way, that's where we've gone astray. Instead of just saying it was wrong, something bad happened, we immediately jump to the defense of why it happened, or make some excuse as to why it happened. Or, I see it a lot, everywhere, not just in this instance, but, something happens and there's a reason they said that, or there's a reason that, they did that. And instead of just holding people accountable for inappropriate actions and inappropriate words, I think it's a sad day. I feel sad, I say all the time, for, my children's children who are not born, that a world that they're coming into is not a world, we were in, not a world where, even their parents were in at this point. The idea that you're born with, obviously, really now the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Well, I felt that way, interestingly enough, until this happened. And I remember us talking and talking about the evil and where we were at. And now I actually have hope. I think I think Mike's generation is going to save us.
Yesterday, I'm riding around in the car, and they got Trump's on the one of the radio stations that I'm listening to, and he says, "It's great we have peace in the Holy Land." I never heard that statement on any media outlet again. I'm sorry, you said the word holy. We don't say that on TV, because that indicates there's a God. Then we have Kristi Noem, her pornographic video at the airport that the Democrats shut down, the government, isn't being played at Logan Airport because we're a Democratic state. The craziness that's going on, and Kristi Noem having the gall to create a video that everyone has to watch. It's just it's the party politics. And these silly parties have no idea the majority of the voters are unenrolled. They're not a part of your party at all. And it's medicine by party now. Whether you take the COVID pill or you don't, depends on what kind of a SWAT sticker you wear, whether it's a blue SWAT sticker or a red SWAT sticker you wear on your head. Most people are unenrolled. I can't blame people for getting rid of the parties. Take that SWAT sticker off your forehead.
Well, I don't know what they're going to say, what people are going to say, all the anti-Trumpers are going to say, you know, what can they possibly say now?
Today's
He
news
did
will
what they
be
said.
all about the kiddo running against Markey. There's some kid running against Ed Markey, a Democrat. Seth Moulton is running against
God.
Ed Markey. That'll be today's news
Oh, my
flash.
God. That's a bad choice.
I lived up on the North Shore when Seth Moulton came up into, his own, and I think there was a lot of respect from both sides for him, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares against Markey, because I think in recent times he's kind of abandoned some of that rhetoric and philosophy that he first got elected on.
Well, I've lost any confidence in believing anything they say anymore. And that has been the difference with Trump. He isn't a politician, and they can't stand that he doesn't play by their rules. And
Yeah, I mean, if you're still hanging on to no matter what he does, he's evil, then you're not looking at the
No.
you're not looking at the results fairly. I mean, just bring the hostages back and solving peace in the Middle East, and people are
he didn't do it soon enough, they said.
they
No, it didn't get coverage.
they are quiet about it, which means that there's not they're even having a hard time twisting it. Like the Jewish people are involved in it, but they're technically the bad guys in their eyes. The Palestine thing, peace, they can't even make like heads or tails of it. It's like, I mean, because
They wanted,
which is a good thing. When you have them tongue-tied and they just ignore it and don't talk about it, then I think you really hit the nail on the head. And I don't know how much is it going to take for people to realize that.
Well, I'm sort of, as I say, when having talked to you, listening to you, and I think of you as that the generation that I hope is going to change this anger and hostility. And
I think we are. I think
I think
my
you-
generation doesn't see things that way. When we, just like my age group, we don't deal with racism crap. Like that's why we don't fall for any of this stuff. Like when we were growing up, like nobody my age is racist.
No.
It's just not a thing. We all went to school together. We thought it was over. It turns out that we had it the best in the 90s because it's deteriorated and gotten worse because we decided, I don't know, somehow racism's gotten worse since then, which is just absolutely nuts. But my generation doesn't go for this stuff because, when you see people and you get around people, you realize that we're all thinking the same way. That this is just ridiculous.
well, what do you do with the media? John says it wasn't covered. We all know it wasn't covered.
They're doing a good enough job of getting rid of themselves. I think that's just going to
People are cutting
continue.
the cable, you're right, Mike.
Yeah, I think
They're
it's going to
cutting the
continue.
cable.
My age group specifically, nobody has cable anymore. I have Starlink internet. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's the fastest internet that I've used. Service is great. Never any blips as far as service goes, and stream whatever I want and have great internet at home. Cable is.
Are you doing over-the-air TV too as well?
I do have YouTube TV.
No, over-the-air. Smart TVs, you got that option. You can have all of it. You can have cable, you can have internet, you can have over-the-air.
Oh, no. No, I just have, I'm pretty much just streaming apps. But we're trying not to watch that much TV, too, I think a lot of people are just kind of pushing away from it. But Comcast and cable companies are, my whole generation is cutting the cord there. And I think a lot of people are. A lot of people every age, but I feel like my group in particular.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And so I guess in response to Hillary saying how sad, I think I'm feeling some there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That I wasn't thinking, I knew we were going down a rabbit hole, and it was frightening to me, because even in my generation, we went through the civil rights. We marched with Martin Luther King. We did and then they saying we're the racists. I couldn't wrap my head around that. I couldn't wrap my head around, what they've done with Title IX either. I can't believe that we're the Gloria Steinems now. Why aren't they standing up for women's rights?
That's a good question. I say it all the time. I was, my freshman year in college, I was writing papers against Title IX. I was writing papers on the negative effects of Title IX because small men's sports, including wrestling, which I was very involved in, were unfortunately a byproduct of Title IX was that we lost a lot of small sports teams, men's sports teams, because in order to meet the quota of female to male sports, a lot of times colleges could get away with just eliminating smaller men's programs to eliminate some of the scholarships that way. Mm-hmm. So I was writing papers then against it, and here I am now. I have 4 girls, and I'm like, where the heck is Title IX?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Why aren't we enforcing this like we used to?
Title IX was supposed to be equality, not...
Comment from the audience. Is the media going to report on public executions by Hamas yesterday? Likely not.
No.
Probably won't hear about it.
No.
There'll be stories that Trump executed people yesterday.
Yeah. I just...
All I heard was Israelis are killing Hamas yesterday. That's all I heard. And one of my Democratic friends, we went to Monday Night Dinner Club last night, and one of my friends, as soon as he get in the car, hey, did you hear where the Israelis are killing the Hamas? They killed 9 of them today? That's the first thing the guy said when he got in the car. He's a Trump hater.
I
So I said, look, I don't want to go there.
Well, that's just it. It's tedious. It's just over. Just let it go.
Well, I wish I knew about the executions. I would have burped back at him. Well, how about the executions that they had yesterday?
Yeah.
That Hamas had yesterday. And I heard, I did hear that on New York News, that Hamas was executing people on their side.
Well, we'll see. Now it's up to the other countries over there and I think Trump has them in line. I'm amazed. I never thought I would see peace.
Well, all
In the
Trump
race.
did was he said to Betty Netanyahu, Netanyahu, no more. We're not going to even send you bullets. Never mind missiles, jets. We're sending you nothing effective today, unless you stop this war. War was over. No more bullets from America? Sorry. And he's doing the same thing to the Russians. He's telling the Russians, hey, look, I'm going to send the best missiles I have to the other side unless you knock this off.
To me, that's it, because they're both thugs.
Yeah, well, that's what it takes.
It's war. We have a difficult time to understanding
Yes.
that, especially today, where we get
Stop
information.
the killing of the regular people. You don't see Trump there with his bulletproof vest on with anybody else with their bulletproof vest on shooting at each other. Why don't they just duke it out? Give them each a gun, and whoever wins, wins.
Yeah.
No, we're going to send your kids and my kids to the war.
Yeah.
That should stop.
Well, I don't think Mike's going to send any.
UFC main event, what your leader against mine? That would be some. You want to bring back cable television, John?
Well,
Sell that.
Isn't he going to bring it to the White House?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
UFC.
Big
Yeah.
wrestling, yep,
Is
he
he
is.
talking about? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that must be irritating them. Well, everything he does irritates them. It's just amusing when he does something and then he says at the White House and they say, "Oh, you're spending it." No, he's spending the money. He's actually paying for things that none of them would reach in their pocket even to buying lunch if it wasn't on their campaign expense account.
It's funny when you talk about the end of war, though. We hear this war's over, and I'm sure you're going to hear about gunfights still happening. I mean, when you hear about the end of the war in Vietnam, there's stories of guys that are in the jungle that are fought for months on because they never got the message. And,
During
like
Vietnam, Korea.
Civil War, it takes months for the message to get out, and
Yeah.
so we get the message now right away. But in a war zone, we don't have. It's hard for us to put ourselves in a war zone, I think, and realize how long things get drawn out and
Well-
what it actually takes.
Well, and you don't have months of, kind of training and be in that warfare area, and then all of a sudden, somebody
Just
says
shut it
it's
off.
off. You don't
Yeah.
shut it off. You're
Yeah.
still, living and breathing that, and that's where I think, we also don't do anybody a service by just saying it's over and expecting everything to stop. There's rippling effects.
Well, elections used to do that, but now it doesn't matter with the elections. If they don't like it, they just say it's not a legitimate election.
When we look back on history, even from the Civil War, skirmishes continued, although the governments involved stopped fighting.
Yeah.
Troops on the ground didn't. World War II, same thing, World War I.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in it,
Right.
you're gonna trust somebody that comes up and says, "Oh, the war's over." Sure, it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Not till I
okay.
get this guy.
I'll shoot and ask questions like. Yeah, it's-
I like the whole concept that American soldiers aren't dying in these conflicts.
yeah, I mean, hopefully it's.
That used to be just, oh, we'll just send American soldiers over. We'll just send our guys over. I think that's all done. I don't think your generation is going to put up with it.
I hope they
I
don't.
hope not. I don't know. It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I remember
mean,
getting angry at George Anthes that we took the National Guard and sent them to Vietnam. What the hell is the National Guard going? Oh, they defend the shores of Vietnam. Why? They're our National Guard.
Well,
Tricked by the government.
we also sent them to Martha's Vineyard because they sent 50 refugees in.
That was crazy.
It was amazing to me. Not in my yard, so to speak. So, well, I think that I like talking to you about it. You give me hope.
I was gonna say, I think, hopefully there is a mindset of hope for the Middle East, because I do think that, it's hard to change the mindsets of people, and that's really what it's gonna take to end this. It's not just gonna be, you put down your gun, I put down my gun. It's gotta be a re-education of,
You put down
How
your
people
gun, I
feel.
have a hidden gun.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Respectfully, our government is equally as dirty and not trustworthy. Good point, Jay. A lot of us don't trust the government anymore.
No.
Supposed to be a dry day, although the sun is not coming up yet, but coming up shortly. Supposed to be a nice dry day.
Are we past the rain? Yeah.
Rain's done. Rain's gone out to sea.
It's going to be a little
Nice.
chilly, though, until, Friday or
Yes.
Saturday. This
Good
morning
day.
it was chilly. Put
The
a
windows
coat
will
on.
remain closed today.
Yeah, it was 48 coming in. Oof, that's chilly. So,
But there's no wind, so.
no,
That's a
but a
break.
lot of leaves came down. My, in that rain.
Yeah, even green leaves came down in that wind.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, well, we need the rain, I guess. So, Michael, where were we going from here?
To church.
Yeah,
A lot of people are going to church.
I know.
And it's just back on the Charlie Kirk thing. It's ironic in some ways. The Turning Point was what he was known for. I mean, that was the name of his business, and kind of
It's come to fruition.
Yep. I do think things are moving in the right direction. Hopefully, it's just it's not going to be easy. I don't know. I thought we had it good, and everything was going to be very easy, and we muddied it up. It didn't take that long. I don't know. Next is going to be Europe is in trouble right now. I mean, we might have to go and make some sort of peace deal in the UK soon to cool heads there, because there's violence on the streets of the UK right now.
Coming from the audience, I said it last week. Look at Jay. It's more important you give us the Powerball number, okay? When you want to predict the future. Until mothers in that region teach the kids not to hate, it won't get any better. Won't get any better here either, Jay. Mothers have got to stop teaching, letting their kids hate.
Well, how about the politicians stepping back? I mean, they're supposed to be the role model.
Linda,
I never thought I would see the language coming out of politicians.
I listened to the idiots yesterday, all day. It's their fault the government shut down, not me. Keep voting for me, keep sending me your money, because they shut the government down. I didn't do it. That's what Washington wants you to believe. Kick Lori Trahan out of there. Somebody needs to run against Lori Trahan and Elizabeth Warren, the scold. Let somebody run against her. I'm glad Seth Moulton's running against Ed Markey. And Lori Trahan deserves the same because she'll just say, it's their fault, it's not us. Why is the government shut down? Why aren't you paying the troops? Not okay.
Michelle Wu got a special shout out from the president yesterday.
Woo-woo.
Not in a good way.
No.
No, he wants to send the National Guard here, which I would welcome. Come on in.
They'll find a judge to make it illegal.
Well, Massachusetts is sort of hopeful.
Single judges around the country do not dictate what the president can
But
and
they
can't
are.
do. I
They
know,
are.
because we're just allowing it. All it takes is somebody to say no, John. No.
That's right,
Go
Michael.
home. No. It's not how things work. You don't get to just try something in one court somewhere in the country and reject the president's authority. It's insane. We're allowing it to happen. That's going to be the test of my generation, is how much do we allow? How much do we get pushed until we just say no?
Well,
And
I think you've
it comes
said
up
no.
in every single topic that it keeps coming in front of me. Is that when are we going to say no? Somebody has to have the guts to stand there and say, no, that's not how we're going to do things.
Yes, but you
And
tried
it's
it.
hard. Because
very hard.
The pressure gets heavy, but we need some real men around here.
I agree with you. I think but it's you see what, and they try to emasculate anybody that steps up. And it's interesting, and it's been interesting that they tried to take God out of the lives of a country that was built under God.
It's on the money.
That there it is. It was built under God, and then they said, "Oh no, we're not going to talk about God."
It's on the money,
Yeah.
under God.
So, at some point, you had to have a reality check there. And like Trump, don't like Trump. When he got shot, you saw a change in Trump. He knew there was a purpose. He had a reckoning, and he wasn't as brash. Now, unfortunately, nobody has a sense of humor these days. You can't say anything to anybody, and they have to take it seriously or spin it or something. Nobody can laugh at themselves. It's just appalling to me that
I think his confidence is at an all-time high,
yeah.
believe it or not,
No, I agree.
as far as politically, because he is bringing back.
It took all the
Stern.
helium out of the Nobel Prize balloon, didn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
it sure did.
Well, that's
How
Nobel.
embarrassing can that be?
How
Nobel Prize
embarrassing
has
is
been a
right.
I mean, the woman from Venezuela may very well be deserving of it. I don't even have any idea, but the Nobel Prize went away with the Academy Awards, as far as I'm concerned,
Yep.
a long time ago.
Even she wants him to have it.
They're woke. They're gone woke.
It's just not woke. It's just stupid.
Obama won a Nobel Prize just for being elected president and being black, as far as I can tell. I don't know what he actually won it for.
Even he admitted
Well,
that.
most organizations don't take questions. Like my wife, well, why do they do that? Honey, they don't take questions. They just do.
Well, the timing of that was just, when the Brits used to have good humor, Monty Python, and they would have had a field day with that.
I know.
But you can't have humor anymore. I think it's beginning to come back a little bit, but you just cannot have it. They won't allow it, any kind of.
It is coming back, but it's just now it's so. It's funny. Me and my wife have been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's a hysterical show, but we're kind of catching back up on some older stuff, and like their comedy used to just be very, very basic and more based around like how depraved they are, the characters, and slumly and
Yeah.
and they're really taking kind of like a political angle on their comedy, but they're skirting really taking a stand either way on anything strongly, which is good, but it's still getting very politically motivated, and it's that's where there is comedy right now, but a lot of it is it's either one way or the other still. You know, there's not much of the in the middle, just everybody can laugh at.
Yeah.
It's really tough to do because we've divided things so much.
Well,
You know?
back when late TV was late TV, Johnny Carson, that type of comedian night host just didn't get into it. Everybody was game. It was equal right across the
Yeah.
board. There was just humor, and they saw humor in everything. And if you can't, the minute people start taking themselves too seriously, it's almost like we should have autograph tables set up everywhere for people. They just take themselves way too seriously, and until you see something like a Charlie Kirk that there's the real deal, there's someone that does make a difference. Trump is making a difference. There is peace, whether you like it or not. There really is peace. He's doing something. He's bringing people together. Charlie Kirk brought people together, and he listened.
But I think the fallacy too in saying, in some of it is, the line of thinking, to say there's peace, that is not ever going to mean the absence of some of those people acting, to say there was peace on Sunday, but yet there was killing on Monday. It doesn't mean there wasn't peace on Sunday. It just means, that there's
Can't fix stupid.
residual effects. And like we've said, you just don't turn off something. So, hopefully there is lasting and peace. And it's not going to happen overnight. So just one act of something is not going to. But that's what we've allowed. We focus on one act, and then we have to tear it all back down. And that's, I think part of the problem, is that we hyper-focus on one instance instead of looking at the whole picture.
This is really the beginning. I mean, we talk about it like
Right.
it's the end of the war, but I mean,
Right,
it's
and he says that.
the beginning of a long process to.
But
Peace
someone-
in another
Move
way.
things forward.
It's going to be peace in another way, peace in the Holy Land. Never in my lifetime.
No, well, 3,000 years it hasn't been.
Well, the
You're
mothers
old.
have to.
And you're not going to change it overnight.
The mothers have got to stop teaching the children to hate each other's guts at birth.
And just let's listen to each other.
So, okay, first text. Can you imagine what a dumpster fire the U.S. would be if the cackler had been elected? They meaning Kamala.
Oh, I didn't get that at first.
No, I didn't either, thank you.
Obama certainly
Oh,
didn't
my.
become president on his merits. I thought Obamacare was just supposed to make it cheaper. Well, it didn't. Good point. Monty Python's I Want to Be a Woman. They were decades ahead of their time. Good point. Thank you for your comments.
That skit is very relevant right now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I made reference to it. It just, they would have a field day. And the Brits used to be able, and they can't even laugh at themselves anymore.
Well, they're fighting in the street right now. Things are extremely hostile because the British people are standing up and fighting back. They're being same thing that's happening here is happening there, but they're just a smaller region. Islam is like occupying Britain right now. A lot of the major English cities. We just did the same thing with, all the people that just came into our country. it was like a quiet invasion. We're not seeing the direct results that they are right now, but we are, and we're going to for a really long time, be suffering because of what's been done with letting so many people into this country. I mean, think back to, we all forget 9/11, you know, when we wanted to make sure that there were no terrorists crossing into this country, and we just let 20 million people unchecked into the country over the last, you know, for whatever, how many years. That's not going to go away. It's not going to go away overnight.
No, and the cartels, I mean, they're putting prices on people's heads. I mean, and how anybody can not see what's happening there.
Well, and I wouldn't travel to Europe anytime soon.
No, I'm
Yeah.
glad I traveled when I did.
Because there's going to be a lot of fighting, I think, in the next months and years, I'm sure.
Well, each country had its own, you know, identification in that their own identity, that in their nationality, that which made America so different, because we weren't English and Irish and French and Italian, but now they're kind of losing track of who they're supposed to be or who they want to be, and now they're realizing it isn't what they wanted, I think.
Mohammed is the most popular children's name in England.
Wow.
What do they call him, Mo? Oid.
I suspect you call him Mohammed.
Well, it's the majority rules, and the Muslims are making more babies than the Christians.
No, they've been infiltrating the country, and Keir Starmer is allowing immigrants, just like over here, all the same policies. Be nice, don't say anything bad, Islamophobic, and they're being overrun. Being slowly taken over, and their leaders are
Christians
allowing
have
it
got
to
to make
happen.
more babies. Christians have got to make more babies.
Well, that's what Charlie Kirk said. Get married and have babies,
Start having kids.
which was a no-no for many, many years. It went just the opposite. Well, we kind of lost track of, we lost our way, no question about it. And we have had a very bad, grim result. And I hope that it's an example for the rest of the world to pay attention. Because we're the greatest country in the world, and it could happen here.
Yeah, and that's what one of the leaders of the British revolt was saying yesterday, is that really what one of the things that kicked off them starting to fight back was Charlie Kirk being murdered.
From the audience, President Biden, that's a laugh, told American people he couldn't do anything about the border. That was a lie. If we had honest media in this country, then maybe these politicians would have to be accountable. Vote fertilizer. The media doesn't ask the questions that they should, but how many people trust the government? People don't trust the government like they used to. Beautiful sunrise coming. If you can look out your window,
Yes,
Wow.
that
nice
is
sunrise coming up.
gorgeous.
It's my dad's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday.
I
It's
hope you
my
have a wonderful,
grandson
happy,
Luke's
healthy
birthday
year.
too. He's
Nice.
4 today.
Happy birthday, Lou.
Four.
Oh,
Happy
really?
birthday.
Wow.
Yep, moving right along. Good little kiddo. Loves to smile.
So happy he's doing well.
But how many people trust the government anymore? Because the managers and governors and senators will say, well, what do you want to tell them? They don't say what's the truth. What do you want to tell them? What do you want to tell what do I tell my constituents? I'm not going to tell them the truth. I'm going to make up a fairy tale.
You won't get elected.
I think that you're right, Mike. I think things are going to change. I just have that this complacency that we've had, that the American public has had for so long, that, you know, we
Well,
just
how much
don't want to
truth do
get
you think we
involved.
get? How much truth do we get out of Seth Moulton, and how much truth do we get out of Ed Markey?
And that's what the Democrats are struggling with. They don't have an independent voice like a Donald Trump that isn't. We got to look at the system and what we're doing. It's all bought and paid for.
Well, you get stuck when you're, I mean, they can't say anything because if you do have a moral stance on it, on every, subject, one thing is going to get you exiled from the party.
That's right.
If you cross one of those lines on whatever topic it is, so you really can't say anything when you're talking. If you say anything of substance, then there'll be headlines and you'll be off the ticket.
Well, when Fetterman
So
is the voice
you
of
gotta-
reason, you know that the party's gone rogue.
Yeah,
It's just bizarre.
he's found out, and
Yeah.
so it takes something for you to find out. I mean, if it wasn't COVID, if it wasn't, the next thing, Trump getting shot or Charlie Kirk getting killed, then I don't know what it is, but at some point, you're gonna have your, a point where you are opened up to realizing that it's all a joke.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the Markey Moulton race because, for a long time, they have kind of been in lockstep with one another in their party. So to see Seth Moulton kind of, in essence, break away and say, I'm going to challenge that, institution of Ed Markey. And Ed Markey is an institution. I mean, what has the guy really done in his life besides be a politician? I'm amazed that he continued to get elected and got elevated.
Well, the big
several
question is
years
there
ago,
is,
'cause,
if he loses, will he sell his house in Massachusetts and stay in Delaware?
well, again, I don't know him well. I've had occasion to cross paths with him when he was, a rep and visiting on different issues, with groups I represented. But, you can't really point to anything that he's really ever done other than be a politician. And it'll be interesting to see because I think, again, for a long time they were in lockstep and now you'll see.
That's what the Democrats respected. That's what Biden was. That they respected, well, he's put in 50 years, so therefore we should just.
But Biden on some level, again, whether like him or hate him or have, indifference feelings about him, I think there was certain things you could point to that he had done over his career. Again,
Right.
probably a career politician, but been involved in leading some aspects and some legislation moving forward. What do we give Markey credit for? Showing up, attendance? I don't know.
I don't hear anybody really jumping up and praising him for anything in particular, really. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when was the last time we had a politician in Massachusetts that anybody got excited about? It's what we settled for.
Tough to think back. I don't know. It's before me.
Charlie Baker was, he was palatable.
Yeah,
He was palatable.
Yeah.
He was a moderate, and everybody could sort of, he could.
He could be doing
listen,
better
yeah,
with the NCAA,
Yeah. Oh
for sure.
God, yes. Well,
but
that's a perfect place for him to be for them to see what he is, but because he came from the insurance companies.
is that what he did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was secretary of A&F before he was with Harvard Pilgrim, but I think that was his background. I think having known Charlie Baker throughout a lot of his political career, again, as somewhat of an outsider into that, I think what people respected and liked about him was, no nonsense kind of talk. He came to the table at least with some practical approach to things, and he was never afraid to tell you what he thought.
Which was hard in Massachusetts.
Right. But yeah, I can't think in my 30 years that I've lived in Massachusetts, any politician that was exciting or people rallied around, it
You
just,
gotta go back to the Kennedys.
John
You know.
Kennedy. And not, and only John. I mean, Ted
Yeah.
was a disaster, so. And they did at least have to say something and stand for something, where they, you know,
Did they tell the truth?
it was, I mean,
And who really killed Kennedy?
it was nice to at least see some of when Ed Kennedy's first wife died recently, that there was a lot of rallying around from her old family of things that she did and things that she brought to the table in the Kennedy family as an outsider. That was very nice, because a lot of times you didn't see that. Once you were discarded by the Kennedy family, you were kind of
that's
on the
right.
outs. But I do think, and I, you know, again, politics aside, hopefully, you know, what Patrick Kennedy is doing around mental health and trying to build up that cause and see the need and recognize the need for more mental health support across the spectrum of life. Hopefully that will be a good legacy for him.
Well, we shall see, won't we? Any predictions on the local elections?
I don't know that I have any predictions.
You've got a race in your district.
Well,
Yes.
the media needs to ask, and the media doesn't have the guts to ask, will you serve your full term? Are you going to run for Eddie Kennedy's seat next week? After the election, you know, I love the city council. Are you going to run for state rep? Are you going to run for, if Rodney wins, you're going to run for, will you serve the whole term? And
Do we-
not seek higher office?
Do we have
Media
any
won't
insight?
ask.
Do we have any insight on like when that time frame is going to be coming up for that seat?
The governor will play the Democratic game. She'll be told what to do. And I like the governor, personally. She's a wonderful woman to talk to, very pleasant, just like any other nice person. Don't care for some of her politics. But she's going to be told what to do, so nobody loses their real seat. So the state reps can all run, city councils can all run, so it'll be after the election, so no one can be asked. But I'm sorry, I'm part of the media, so I can ask any candidate, are you going to run for higher office?
Yeah, it's a
I thought
big deal.
the rumors I'd heard was that the Speaker of the House said that. No, it's the governor?
The governor says,
The Speaker
my
of the House.
takeaway is there has to be an election.
Correct, but I thought this, because they've all said all along the Speaker of the House hasn't yet to determine that. But I don't, I mean, I guess I don't know procedurally who's in charge of
Well, the
that.
Secretary of State is in charge of elections.
Right, but I mean, in terms of filling vacancies like that.
Well,
like-
they're gonna have to have a special election,
Right,
obviously.
but the time frame is always, you hear it says the Speaker of the House, but I don't know.
The
who
the
determines
day of
it.
the election will be set when every Tom, Dick, and Mary can run, who has an office, and they can retain their seat.
That's a good point, actually.
Because why couldn't
Because you're
they,
right, I hadn't even thought about none of the reps.
why
would
couldn't they have
to-
it November 5th? Oh, that's too soon. We
Well,
need a
that is.
special election. So we're going to blow more of my tax money, your tax money, to elect one person.
Well, you have to,
What do you-
well, wait a minute, you have to include us too, you know, the Senate really represented not just Lowell.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
but it's
saying
a
our
state
ta-
election,
our
so the
I know,
tax
state
that's what I'm
has to
saying.
pay for
Our
it.
tax money, and who's going to go vote for one
That's
person?
everybody.
Yeah, I
Just the
can't
party
imagine
people.
it'll be well attended.
Just the party people.
But the only election in November 5th is the city. I don't think they'd want to confuse the municipal. with
And there'll be 50
state.
Democrats running,
Well, I
So
mean,
there has to be
state
a
and city
preliminary
elections
election.
happen.
Well, of course.
which no one gets elected.
John, what are you saying? Having it after the election will
The announcement
allow
will come the
everybody to
day after the
stay
election.
stay in their seat if they don't get elected to run?
Correct.
Is what you, yeah,
See-
gotcha.
Well, are they gonna, they're gonna have a primary election and then a general election for it, right?
Only
Well, wait.
if 50 people, only if, I think, 6 people run for the job. And
Or
right now,
every
like-
name that's come up is a Democrat, so you got more than 6 Democrats running in it.
So we're going to
So there'll
have,
be a primary election.
yep, a wasted
wait.
election.
And then there'll be a
Wait a
general
minute.
election.
That, it's getting a little more convoluted than that, because you're gonna have people running for, let's just say, you're having people run for Senate. Let's just say Rodney Elliott and Vanna Howard, and they all run. One of them gets elected. Then you have to have another special election for a rep. It just,
But
you just
isn't
kick
there
that
within-
can down the road.
Well, again, the timing becomes everything, right? Because if you're within a certain period of when
Less than a year, I
they would
think.
be elected, you don't have to have that special election.
You can have appointed.
You can either have it appointed or leave it vacant. I think they've left some
Well,
state
we
reps.
saw how that worked for Cory Belanger.
We've left rep positions unelected until the next election. We've left the seat vacant.
So if they can postpone this, as John's saying, which I don't think is hard to believe, because you got Christmas, you got the holidays coming. Nobody's going to want to have an election during the holidays, so you're talking after the
Linda,
first
who's
week
going
of
to go
February.
vote for one person? They're going to have a special election. Who's going to go vote for one person?
Well, I don't want them appointing someone.
I'd rather they just appoint somebody. What's the difference? When I can lie right to your face.
Because
Linda,
I'll tell you the difference, then they say
I'm
for
going to take away,
reelection.
I'm going to take away income tax in Massachusetts and forgive all student loans, and the sales tax is going to be gone. I'm going to win, and nothing's going to change.
We already voted to get rid of the income tax.
I mean, yeah, feasibly, it'll be February or March before you've elected somebody for that, with the holidays, and then again, if
And
you have
then
to have
you're
a
right on it.
primary, if you have to have a primary for one party, which it sounds like there's, more Democrats than Republicans coming out in favor of running, then,
Well, I don't know if Kyle would run again. I don't know what Republicans would run. Actually,
I was
she,
just thinking of her.
Yeah,
because,
she-
I don't know, we said we were talking about Democrats, but there might be somebody out there.
Oh, I
but
think
is she in that district?
yeah, she ran
She
against
ran
Ed.
against
Oh, that's
Kennedy, I
right.
think,
That's
right? Yeah.
That's right.
And it was a respectable showing. So I think the towns, it's a situation, since they picked up Dracut and lost Westford in that district, that you could see a Republican take it.
Thanksgiving Day, UFC main event, Lowell Memorial Auditorium. Anybody who wants that seat, show up. Winner take all.
Oh,
No?
yeah.
I thought this is how we were
Why
going to
not?
start settling things, John.
Why not?
Who's my money on in that one?
Yeah. No.
We'll have to line them all up. I don't know.
Well, I'm amazed at that. I mean, Ed Markey's not even cold in the ground, and they're jumping around. They're lining up. It's.
I know. It seems like it's.
I mean, with
moved
all
on
due
very quickly,
respect,
but-
I did want to, acknowledge that Senator Kennedy really stepped up to the plate for Tingsboro, and our middle school and,
Yeah.
and a number of communities, regardless of how people felt about him. In other circumstances, I think the past few years, he
Hold that
really.
thought, kiddo. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I have Mike Dillon, former school committee member in Lowell, and I have Hillari Wennerstrom as my co-host on the other side of Mike, who a former select woman and former school committee woman. So Mike is between two townies, which is interesting.
But all a bunch of formers.
Yes, we are.
I think you're off. You, Mike?
Yeah.
No, I
No.
turned it off during the break.
Although that's sort of a false thing because Facebook right in front of me, he hides it now. It's down below there, but it's on all.
I see the screen, so I had to. That's okay, it works.
Yes, very discreet down there.
Well, what
So-
Facebook does is prove we have hundreds of people watching the show.
Right, it's interesting to me. I hear about it from people that will, whether they're on YouTube or they're on Facebook.
It's encouraging.
It is. It's nice to know
Encouraging.
sometimes. People up in work at Walgreens always, I've got them all listening, so an interesting thing. So, interesting, speaking of interesting things, we're talking about Ed Kennedy, and I think the towns could have a big influence in this election. They could
I mean,
have-
again, certainly at the end of his career, he really stepped up for the towns he represented and really fought for some of those projects. I know, Groton Dunstable, so there's the Dunstable's in there, I think, with their school and a number of things that, he was instrumental in helping see through at the end. And before we went to break, as I was saying, really stepped up for Tewksbury to help us cross the finish line with our middle school. And I think one of the things I've heard recently of people going through the middle school who came back and said, I was against the project and from the start, but then I was even against it when, the money fell short and didn't think you needed more money or things like that. But I'm walking through the building now, very impressed by what was done. We don't have the final numbers, but it'll be under budget, and it's a beautiful building that, in large part, we do have to thank Representative Gary and Senator Kennedy for helping us cross the finish line with that. It was, it was odd to think we're in the ends of our meetings in the coming months and closing out the project in early spring, but we started and we hired our architect and our clerk of the works project manager over COVID and Zoom. And I remember a lot of those meetings, the first time we actually met in person. So it's been 5 long years, but we have an incredible building that I think our community can be proud of. And
Well, I commend you, because Lowell was going through it. I remember when they were going through it, and you were going through it at the same time, and you were meeting like twice a month, and they were meeting twice a year.
We met weekly during COVID over Zoom, and, when
It was
people
very
had
bizarre.
Zoom fatigue from their job every day to get on an hour
Jump back
meeting.
on it after.
Yeah, at,
Yikes.
7:00 at night was tough.
Yeah.
And I think I got scolded at our last meeting, because I said, we just have a couple of meetings left, and some folks that are on our project team travel quite a distance. And I said, really, do we need to have these, if we need to have a quick meeting, can we just meet over Zoom? And the room took a gasp, and I thought, yeah, I can't believe those words came out of my mouth. But, I'm also driving across the bridge, which if you have to drive Tingsboro Bridge traffic for a 5-minute meeting, I'm like, really, can't we just do this over Zoom? As much as I enjoy the bridge traffic and seeing the pumpkins on Frost Road.
That's a tough one, because I do hate that at times we defer to Zoom now.
Yeah.
Just because it's available, but it can be used, I don't know. There are certainly scenarios for
Yeah.
it. I don't like that sometimes we default to just any meetings just being done over Zoom, though. The in-person stuff is important, but
But
Great comments from the audience. This is from before the break. Great question, Linda. You definitely stumped all of us with that question. Linda does it all the time, a miracle worker. And the next one says, the Speaker of the House runs Massachusetts. with an iron fist. Ronald McDonald Mariano will decide who takes Kennedy's seat. Kissing the ring is a real thing here. And the last one, remember the Masters of Politics, moved to New Hampshire.
And it's that happening. I want to ask Mike, because I think you have skin in this game because you have children. And are you seeing, and your friends are all the same age, what impact did COVID have on your children? Because nobody's talking about it.
I know. Luckily, or, I mean, depending on how you look at it, my 3 youngest were born, in and around that time, so it didn't affect their schooling as far as that goes. They really didn't miss school time. And my older daughter she's read more books in her life already probably than I have, and
Oh my, that's saying something.
she's well read and does good in school, and socially she was definitely affected by it. And so I can't really calculate with her, but luckily.
Like, how are you doing with digital addiction in your house? I'm going to tell you a story when you explain. How's digital addiction? Kids being stuck to their phones.
So with my oldest, she's 17, and that is a difficult battle. She's my stepdaughter, and so there's a lot to that question. But
Or she can use that and not use that whenever she wants.
Yeah.
That's a gun she has in her belt. She can
I
pull out
try.
that.
I try influencing her the best that I can in positive ways,
Sure
but
you do.
all the kids are stuck to it, and at times, we all are. I'm constantly trying to remind myself, and my wife's the same way, getting stuck on your phone. But my 3 younger kids are 7, 5, and 3, and it's just not going to be something they experience until high school anyway. It's just not. Even TV and just any other type of just video, it's just not going to happen for them. I won't allow it. There's too much evidence contrary.
Good for you. My daughter-in-law, she works for JetBlue. So I asked her the other day, I said, Ann, when you are on the plane, how much is digital addiction, people in their phones? She says, John, you wouldn't believe it. I take my service, get people their soda, whatever they want to drink, and a bag of chips, go up and down the whole aisle, come back, and there'll be people pushing the button. You skipped me. I said, I didn't skip you. You got your earbuds in and you're watching your video. You ignored me.
Yeah.
And she says it happens to a lot of people. They're so into their phones, they're missing their Coke. Not that it's I asked her,
Right.
but that's how people are so addicted to their phones.
What's
And
the worst
They don't even realize it.
What's
They
the
miss their
worst
bag
on
of
those is, you're going to take off and they ask you to power down, or you're, getting ready to land and they have to, they've made the announcement 3 times, can you power down? And people can't, or no calls.
They cuff their phone, they hide it.
I remember sitting next to a woman that was, just on the phone and talking right over the whole thing, and they, tap on the folder. Lady, the plane's going off. I wish, they had the ability to just cut people's service, for the plane to go and whatever, but.
And I told my daughter-in-law this, what would take is, where's your ticket? And the stewardess takes a picture, the airline attendant takes a picture of your ticket, and you get points off the next time you want to book with the airline because you didn't obey the rules. Just do that once, and they'll all put their phones away just like
Yeah,
that.
treat the digital like you treat the, smoking in the bathroom, and you might see a different, but you just see people, we're gonna power down for 10 minutes. Just power yourself down for 10 minutes till we get up in the air or we're landing.
I have they're 7 and 9. And this summer, I spent a lot of time with them. And leading up to that, I saw that when I would come to the house, they would definitely be, and it would be a challenge to get them away from whatever they were playing or doing on their laptop. Now, I've found that when I walk in, they say, "What are we doing today, Grammy?"
That's great.
So that came about. I didn't foster that, I just worked around it. And so if they have a choice, they will. And I think one of the things we took away, what's happened with children is they don't have a choice. They don't have what I had, what you had, that you went to the park, that you had friends, that you did other things. We didn't have any electronics, so we did things outside. We had friends. And so, but if they've given a choice, I think it's going to, and you see it with sports. That does it. So that you don't have to be the heavy and say, no, you're not going to do that. I think that's probably not the approach, as I'm watching them. You give them an alternative.
Yeah. No, yeah, certainly keeping them busy with other stuff is
That's the key.
is big. And
But it's hard. And I think that one of the problems with the kids parenting today is they're addicted to their phones.
yeah.
They're,
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. It's
When you
the,
see the
They-
parent
that-
on the phone, throughout at dinner or other times when the phone is a priority for the parent, then the child has, you have a hard time telling your child to do it when you're not doing it yourself.
yeah.
yeah, and it's tough. Being a parent with young kids is like we really don't have them on devices or have their own devices and just watching videos all day long. But then they start to hang around with other kids, and other kids are, and that does become difficult.
Yeah.
But you just gotta
Here's a cool
say no
play on
and
words
do
from
something
our
else.
tricky congresswoman. She has renamed Fitchburg a town. Fitchburg's a city, but she's gonna have a town hall meeting. Now, where's the town hall in Fitchburg? It's in a school. So what a play on words. So, Lori, why don't you just I'm gonna have a local meeting at a school. Why the hell are you saying it's a town hall in a city, and you're not going to City Hall for the meeting? Childish.
So she's just using town hall as like a gathering
A
to.
style of meeting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, why don't you say what it is? I'm having a local meeting at the vocational school, and you have to sign up for a seat. Deceptive, Lori.
Interesting.
Okay,
way,
moving
but-
right along here.
That's a gorgeous shot. Look at those trees.
know.
Stunning.
Yeah,
It's what makes you love being in New England in the fall.
beautiful time of year, but it's all across the northern United States. It's good stuff. I saw a lady in Tewksbury holding a sign against lithium batteries as she was on her cell phone.
Nice. John,
Good one,
You
good
got a way of making that neighborhood look beautiful in the morning.
I
'Cause
know.
that is probably the biggest problem area in Lowell, right, currently.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling you, a friend of mine, Lisa,
Thanks.
was taking the train to Boston, and she was early, so she decided to walk up here because she'd come to watch the show one day. And she said, "Oh my God, John is right." She walked through the common. She said,
Yeah, it's a wake-up. It's a real-
disaster."
It's a real wake-up time. I'll scoot over a little bit. Let me get the camera control. I'll move over.
Looks pretty now, you're right. It looks like something out of a Rockwell
I'll move
painting.
the camera to the left, and we'll zoom in on our neighbors.
Boy, the colors turned quick.
Let's see if any of our neighbors are up.
She couldn't believe how close the school was to what was going on.
Who's that?
My friend that walked up to the common. and
See,
around.
election season does a fantastic job in Lowell. Not a homeless soul out. They'll be back November
Oh, it's
5th.
cold. Where are
No,
they?
November 5th they'll be back. So no homeless on the common in my sight anyway.
Summer
Good.
Street, South Street, Appleton, Middlesex area right now, as far as emergency responses, through the roof.
Now, do you have that? Is that part of your? No.
It's not mine. It's not my district, but the Branch Street Firehouse and the Gorham Street Firehouse are It's bizarre, actually, how often South and Summer, Appleton at South, you know, like, it is constant, though.
Is it just Narcan, or is it?
A lot of medicals,
Yeah.
mostly drugs, or,
Drugs purchased with taxpayer money.
Elliott Church, that whole area. It's crazy. You try and go to the Owl Diner, and I got to keep my head on a swivel.
Yeah, I don't know how the Owl Diner has maintained.
It's incredible.
It is to me in that
Oh, the
area.
food is
'Cause
awesome.
I know.
No, it's a testament to the business.
Yes, it is, because I go,
Yeah.
everybody I know goes.
Yeah.
People will
Even
step
my
over the
son
homeless
goes.
to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll step over the homeless woman to get there.
Zombie apocalypse.
so, I think it's just.
We have a sheriff that's refusing to help.
Yeah, what
purpose of the-
happened to him?
He was not going to do anything. Danny Rourke made
Yeah.
time to visit us. He's up speaking Canadian this week, but I asked him, how's it going with the sheriff? Because everybody knows the sheriff has 600 empty jail cells out there that could house the homeless. And he's refusing to come to the table. Won't talk to the city manager about it, nothing. So that's just defund the sheriff.
Well, I'm not
It's a tough
shocked.
ask, isn't it?
What's that?
It's a tough ask.
Mike, look, if you get arrested for breaking all the windows in Scott Jewels in downtown Lowell, you steal all that jewelry, and you're on heroin, they don't care. You go to jail. And the sheriff has programs out there that will ease you off the heroin and put you back in when you get out of prison or jail, whatever you want to call the place, when you get out a year later or 3 years later, you'll be as healthy as you can be. Now, if you want to go jump on the drug bandwagon all over again, that's your stupidity.
No, I'm on
But
board.
he's got
That's needed.
The sheriff has programs in place out there that will get you off nail biting, whatever bad habit you have. He'll get you off that bad habit because you can't do that in prison. Maybe you can bite your nails, but you can't watch pornography. You can't do heroin. You can't do fentanyl. You can't do it because it's not out there. He's got the programs, but he's refusing to come to the table.
Well, if he does have it all set, if he has the programs to make that happen, then, that is what is necessary, is a long-term care facility that we just don't,
He's got it,
we
but
don't
he-
have anymore. And
He's
so if the
refusing
prison
to come
can
to
do
the
that.
table. Refusing to come to the table.
Does it have anything to do with him moving from
Linda, he won't talk.
the office? Because I thought he was active in the community. He used to be. What happened?
You know how politicians are? You kicked sand on my blanket in 1956. I'm never going to let it go.
Well, another question is, how do we have so many empty jail cells? Why?
Oh, the building is not air conditioned.
Why?
That building's not air conditioned.
I'm sure we could fill them up.
Well, we don't need air conditioning this
we
time of
just-
year, Mike.
Well, same with Concord. It's
Make
ridiculous in Massachusetts. So we don't send people to jail.
You're right, though, we need long-term care facilities for
Absolutely, and nobody questions it.
drug
They
addicts.
just don't do anything.
First, it's been way too long that, the people involved, people at Megan's house, or, anybody who's in that industry, knows that a 3-day weekend to get clean
Oh, of course
is
not.
not any type of long-term,
No.
long-term help to these people. It's just like a bump. It's a speed bump, and
Well, and you can take them out of their environment for
Bless you.
3 months, 6
Thank you.
months, a year. But unless you've identified the root and the psychological problems, the minute they can go back, they go back. That's, I've seen that in a lot of people recently. They're a year clean in a program, but you put them back out on the street and you've healed their physical body, but you're not healing the root of why they ended up where they were in the first place.
They
And
should
so-
be let out of prison in a different community than they came from.
Good point.
a lot of the success stories
Yes.
are that way for that
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah.
because
Right,
You
you
can't
can't
take you can take the guy out of Lowell type, thing where, yeah, as soon as you jump out, you're on the streets again. It's like, hey, Mike,
Yeah.
you want to party?
Yeah.
You get sucked right back in. You're right, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of times you got to go and start new.
Oh, it's not a short-term
Totally,
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changes you forever.
But if we have the facilities, it's just depressing. I mean, they're closing, what are they doing with Tewksbury?
They don't have the training department that the jail enjoys. That's what, comment from the audience, and it's true. Lowell continues to build buildings with no parking. Soon coming to your neighborhood in Lowell, thanks to our city council and our manager who has an extended contract, we can have a building in your street that does not require parking. So they're going to park in front of your house forever. Thank you, city council.
What's happening in South Lowell with the issues?
There's a lot of contentious issues.
There's no
in South
change.
Florida
Yeah,
now.
there are, with the
There's no
parking and
changes.
Barclay, huh?
It's not going to change. They sat where you sit right there, Linda, and promised, oh, we're going to change that law. And Danny Rourke reported last week, there's no intention to change that law. There'll be
Oh,
no
and the
parking
parking.
required until the sun burns out.
Well, it's a real problem until,
Well, they're going to park in front of your house. That's where they're going to park.
is that, and that's a done deal, right, on Hines? Is that
Oh, yeah.
project?
Looks like they got a bank loan to do it. Some bank was crazy enough to lend them the money to build a housing project for 70 people to live in with no parking.
The environmental crowd actually wants this. That's the problem.
They don't live here.
They don't, I know, but they
They
don't
live in
want,
Kingsborough.
they want every incentive possible
Blaming
to
Linda and Hillary.
force people
Their
out of their
neighbors.
automobile.
Well,
And so we're just going to keep putting in policy that just makes automobiles extremely, extremely inconvenient, and they're still not going to go away.
Only one time I'm watching,
No, of course
I'm
not.
watching a Hampton, New Hampshire meeting, and they're talking about clean air, and one of the selectmen said,
yeah.
who rode a bike here? Did anyone not take a car to this meeting and rode a bike or walked? And no one put their hand up. Good point. They need a shelter that's not been a disaster for decades.
That's correct. And one of it's interesting because the shelter has been, I remember hearing about the jam plan, and of course the shelter's right in the middle of it. And I am very optimistic about the front runner, but he's right. If you don't do something with that shelter, how can you expect, I can't imagine that being a success with that in the middle of it.
Well, years ago, somebody decided, this is a good point. Why do we need a sheriff just to run the prisons? Why do we have to elect the guy? He's got a 6-year gig. He doesn't want to do his job.
That's right.
6 years.
Well, didn't they just pull all the funding for the sheriff's departments? The state funding that's a source of contention in the state budget right now. All the funding for the sheriff's offices.
It's where?
I've heard, like, the past 2 days, some kind of clips about there's issues in the state budget with the sheriff's
There
department.
should be.
Because there's, been a couple of sheriffs
Wasting money?
wasting money or involved in inappropriate activity. I don't think it was
It's
the
always
sheriff's,
been.
that's in trouble with the cannabis and the cannabis money,
It has always been. I can think back years and years ago to sheriffs in Middlesex County. It's always been an issue. But it's gotten worse because now they have the prisons that nobody's in. At least they had people in them.
Well, the judges are not accountable either. The judges won't come to the table.
Well, no. But Wicker at least was viable and it was full. And they've just gotten rid of all the inmates.
you say
But
there's
they
no
haven't gotten
room.
rid of any of the staff.
There's no room in the prison. Yes, there is. There's room for 600.
Well, but they haven't cut any staff.
It's fully staffed.
It's,
Fully staffed.
well, we
You know,
just,
Massachusetts, our logo, we have jobs. If you don't like
we
it here,
accept-
move to
but
New
we
Hampshire.
accept that in Massachusetts.
That's what we expect. government jobs. Wouldn't you love to have one?
No, had one
Government
once.
jobs are the best.
Had
You
one
get
once.
pension,
It's
healthcare.
awful.
Hey, I'm telling my grandkids, you're gonna get a government job.
Well, you're right, I know if you
Get a
want,
government job first.
do your time, get your retirement, right?
Yeah. Retire when you're 45.
What's the difference from that to being perpetually on some kind of program, other state-run program?
So Linda,
We perpetuate,
now couldn't you use a nice little pension of like, we'll say $500 a month? And.
oh, at this point, yes, I say, why didn't I do
and
that, I guess?
Free
but-
health insurance.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't you use that, Lynn?
And not what the rest of us have to struggle with.
Couldn't you use that? That's why I'm saying, if you got a grandkid out there, tell your grandkid, get a city job, get a state job. And if you really like working for the government, when you're done that, go get a federal job. You have two pensions. Because if the government goes out of business,
You depress me,
banks are
John.
gone. Linda, I'm just telling you, we're OBBs. By the way, there's a new category called WOBB, wicked old bag of bones. But that turns when you're 80. You become an old bag of bones when you're 60, and you become a woob when you turn 80.
You'll have to put out a list of definitions on these terms.
Well,
I know.
Get everybody on the same
Even
page.
I
Tell your
didn't know where he was going
grandkids-
with that.
Get a government job in Massachusetts.
See, I'm probably going to encourage my kids to go elsewhere. Because,
What, Fitchburg Fire Department?
no.
It's a
not the
family-
fire-
it's a family business,
Not a
Mike, come
government
on
job. No, see, I'm sitting on the other side. I wish I didn't have a government job because then you gotta bow. And
Mike, you gotta
stay
bow at
within-
Walgreens, ask
and I-
Linda.
Yeah,
You gotta do what they tell you upstairs.
yeah, but you can leave
Yeah.
Where you gonna go?
the next store down the street
And they have an upstairs too.
and then start your own business.
Well, and that's what
Easier
Americans
said
used to
than
do.
done.
I know it is, but,
Just get the health care. The health care bills used to be $1,000 a month, now it's $1,500 a month.
healthcare's overrated.
It's right up there with oxygen when you get sick. You need it.
Oh, the healthcare is terrible. It's terrible, and it's just and the insurance companies are running it. They run the hospitals that run the docks. So they're all in step. And I have to think that at some point, the docs are going to have to say, I put in all these years in education, I thought that I was going to change lives, and they can't. They can't even look at the patient. It's ridiculous what the hoops
Well, it's
they're
no
jumping
longer
through.
about, what is long-term right for a patient. It's about, sending them home and coding a bill correctly.
That's all it's about. I mean,
Not about, getting to the root problem. I mean, I've seen it with a family member, goes to 10 different doctors and they're all, when you walk in the door, oh, you have this ailment, let me prescribe this. You go to the next doctor, oh, you have this ailment, let me prescribe this. Not like, what is the root of the problem here?
Tell the grandkids not to stay in Massachusetts. That makes more sense.
Agreed.
I agree
I'm
too.
hanging on by a thread.
If I could, I would.
And New Hampshire's turning into the same problem. They're demanding services.
Yeah.
The government is not here to help you. They're here to help themselves.
I want the government to help me less. How's that?
Where was
We'll hire somebody to oversee that.
Please help less.
it New Hampshire? I heard recently on the news that, that they're now talking about the government getting involved in running grocery stores and moving it's.
Might have been Maine.
Maine, was it Maine? It's
got to
a New
be
England
Maine.
state, I believe, that they're talking about, rural.
Well,
might
New
be
York
right.
for sure, but there was
Maine.
also,
The government dictating where grocery stores need to be for rural communities. And I was kind of thinking like, you want to screw up an industry, get the government involved.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The government, how about the government run the things it can run right now and what's on its plate, like being operational, and not put them in charge of grocery stores.
Which they don't do. But
No, they'll do it because it's jobs. Your sister will run the grocery store down the street. You want your sister to get a nice job?
Well, and if the government runs
Like
the grocery
that
store,
idea.
you'll have a pension,
Yeah.
apparently, in healthcare.
you're cynical.
Hey, the announcements for today, I'm going to go over them. And today, Diana DeZagrio, I'm going to hit the minus button here. Bring this, shrink this down so you can see it. Okay, Diana DeZagrio, poor kiddo. She really thinks they're going to listen to her, but they're not going to. Come on, shrink down a little bit more. There we
That
go.
is
Okay.
so
Today,
crazy.
it's the People's State House rally today. Rain or shine, it's going to be a beautiful day. On the steps of the State House, 24 Beacon Street, they'll have a bunch of speakers there. One of them is going to be State Auditor Diana DeZaglio. Nice gal. And to audit the legislature, access public records, reform legislative stipends. What are they hiding? You can learn more if you go to take your fancy phone out of your pocket, put it in camera mode, and this will give, your camera will ask you about this link. Click on it, it will tell you a lot more. Coming up in charming Chesford, they have trunk or treat. Minus this guy a little bit, too much. Wrong one, doesn't it? Plus, okay. So Chesford Dog Park, trunk or treat, Saturday, October 18th, 12 to 2 p.m. 52 Richardson Road in charming Chesford, $5 donation. They're going to have human treats, dog treats, trunk decorating contest. So hope to see you there on Saturday. Moving right along is the Chesford Dog Alliance presents a Halloween. What a cool idea this is. You're going to dress up your dog, costume contest. So there'll be a lot of smiles that day, October 18th at the Chesford Dog Park, 52 Richardson Road in North Chesford. And thanks to Vivian for doing this. Vivian Merrill, she does a great job with this.
They're really into
A lot of
dogs, aren't they?
smiles.
I was going to say, Chelmsford is a very dog-friendly community today.
St. Joseph's, the Workers' Shrine, is having a holy event on Tuesday, October 21st. Wait a second, just a second. Tuesday, October 21st at the shrine. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's going to go all day. If you're interested, take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture of this slide. They would love to see you. So that's down St. Joseph, the Workers' Shrine, Tuesday, October 21st. Danielle McFadden's having a Chris and Elizabeth Dick invite you to come and share a cup of coffee with Danielle's campaign, Friday, October 24th, 9 to 11 at the Coffee Emporium, 23 Palmer Street in Lowell, Massachusetts. So that'll be a good event to go to. These are your neighborhood meetings in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts. And take a picture of this and try to go to one of your neighborhood meetings. Find out what your neighbors are doing, what's happening in your neighborhood. Eric Kitch is having a party, and that is tomorrow night, Thursday, October 16th, hosted by Ryan Ferreira at the Wappin Weft, 197 Market Street, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Hope to see you down there. Coming up in Tewksbury at the Senior Center is an exceptional breakfast day. You've got to come hungry to this breakfast. They have eggs, bacon, sausage. It's only $10. And it's going to be Sunday, October 26th, 8:30 to noon at the Senior Center. There's a ton of parking behind the building. Looks like there's no park, but there's a ton of parking behind the building. Now, today is the 15th of October. Most senior centers have lunch every weekday. City of Lowell has lunch 7 days a week. So today being the 15th, the Chesford Senior Center, I'm going there today with Evelyn Thorne. We're going to have chicken stir fry, vegetarian option. Doesn't sound too good, Evelyn, but we're going to go there anyway. That's in Chesford today. And today is the 15th, so we're going to have it, this is Drake. Drake's having beef stew with celery, carrots. Sounds yummy. In lovely Lowell, stuffed peppers.
I was going to say, you might need to change your location. Meet Evelyn.
I should call Evelyn. Evelyn, we got to go to Lowell, stuffed peppers. But no, Chesford's going to be where we're going to go today. And then we got more beef stew happening out in Tewksbury today. It seems like Tewksbury and Drake have the same menu. And that's my last announcement, so By the way, if you want lunch, it's only $2. And you don't have to live in that community, you can just show up. It's a federally funded program, so you can go to lunch in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and they have to let you in.
You could go from town to town, John.
Yep.
You could definitely get on.
That's what Evelyn and I, we're going to rate them to see how good they are.
I don't think I realized how widely common it was around.
I bet you they'd let firefighters in. If you bring the truck
might.
over there, well, everybody loves a fireman, Mike, you know that.
It's true. It's true.
Especially the older crowds.
I didn't see one for Tingsboro.
The menu for
I couldn't
Tewksbury.
find
We don't
it.
eat in Tingsboro.
I was
I
going to
couldn't
say,
find it.
sometimes, I don't think they do,
They used
if
to.
I recall, they don't do it in, like, they'll do the meal delivery out of there, but I don't know that they serve the meal in there.
They used to. I guess that's changed. I don't know if they have the
You
stand.
know, Tingsboro, we don't eat in Tingsboro.
No, I guess not.
But I did look for Tingsboro's menu, we couldn't find it.
Interesting.
I think-
What's happening with Lowell Senior Center? Any
We also don't call it a senior center anymore. We call it the Center for Active Living.
active?
So maybe they're too active to sit down and eat.
Yeah, they're over
That's a nice-
exercising instead.
And Lowell has more money than brains. They're trying to buy the whole place. Yesteryear,
I thought they owned it.
this guy Nick something, he's got a Greek last name. He built the senior center for city manager John Cox. It's a longer story. But the deal was, in 20 years, we can buy it for $1. That was the deal. So federal money, I don't know what happened, but we built a beautiful senior center. Now the senior center is screwing it up by saying, no, we want to change that deal. We want to buy the whole building because the drugstore moved out. So they're screwing the whole deal up. So now the city's going to end up paying retail for something we could have paid $1 for. Watch these shenanigans happen. It's $1. And I asked Melanie Gilbert, you're probably watching this show in the afternoon, or one of your colleagues is, look up 20 years ago. Look up your Lowell son 20 years ago, and you're going to see, we're going to get the building for $1 in 20 years. I'd like to see that story in the column.
Would somebody eat the contract?
Perhaps.
Is that,
It was on microfiche, and we don't have microfiche readers anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why the drugstore, I don't know if they're actively reaching out for independents to, it's a small location, so an independent could very easily,
Well, one of my drug friends told me that the drug companies are afraid of the post office because you get your pills 90 days at a time, and the drug companies can just say like, oh, you're on elemental P pills, they're going to come in the mail.
insurance, it's all about
It's
insurance.
going to come in the mail because they'll charge the insurance companies a little less money.
But the insurance companies own the mail order. CVS owns theirs,
Amazon.
Walgreens owns theirs, they all provide, they have their own.
The manufacturers want a bigger chunk. Trump is making them sell the drugs for what they're selling them elsewhere for.
Well,
So they need
could
a
see a
bigger
lot of
chunk?
changes then.
And so Walgreens is really afraid that the drug makers are going to ship the drugs via the mail to the consumer.
Well, Walgreens has a new owner, you know that.
But when you think about it, you can get your drugs now through Amazon and, order them the same way, I guess you do, your pair of shoes or whatever you get from Amazon.
You
And,
can get anything from Amazon.
I always get stuck, for someone like me, I'm like, oh, I should get mail order prescriptions, although I do like my pharmacist that, that I've been going to since my kids were little here in town, still recognizes me, always says hello. But I go into the drugstore, I guess my point is I go into the drugstore and then I leave with more than just my prescription, right? I end up with a ton of other things. Amazon, if I got them from Amazon, I'd probably save myself a lot of money. However, I do like to think that someone, identifies me. I'm not just a number, I'm not just an address or, a prescription. I go up there, he knows who we are, he knows the medications my children have been on for their asthma since they were young. Always says, when we switched insurance, you know what, I don't understand why this inhaler is now costing you X amount of dollars. Well, let's look at this and try to figure it out, versus I'm sure, you know, if I ordered it from Amazon, someone would just ship it off and say, you know what, here's the price, and here's what you pay. I have a huge problem with mail order drugs.
Yeah, I feel like it would get, where it would get sticky, or at least one way, is with like drugs that are highly regulated, like, you know, opiate type drug, you know,
Yeah.
drugs that are
Short-term.
addictive, and there are strict regulations on them now, and like you have to bring the paper copy of the prescription to the pharmacist, show ID, you know, I mean, for obvious reasons. So I wonder how that would. I feel like that would have to stay in the stores. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a way around it.
Although
But-
there's so many that say now, like, have that disclaimer, like, they don't carry it, so unless someone's coming to fill a prescription for it, they wouldn't necessarily have it in stock. I've seen that on a number of pharmacies saying, like, they don't carry certain narcotics, like, behind the pharmacy. They only have it if they have knowing a
What
valid
would that
prescription
be?
is coming in.
Other than, the only thing I can think of is maybe dilaudid, but I can't imagine what.
all the painkillers, for sure.
I think
the
Target
not
has a-
having-
Target
oh,
has a,
Well, see, when all these people got involved with drugs, don't you find that a little bizarre?
I mean, you get Hannaford, any of them, you
and
know,
Amazon
Hannaford.
and,
That's good
and
business.
Target and,
I know.
and
I
mean, but
Sam's
Amazon is
and
a
everything. They
business
shouldn't be dealing with
Amazon
drugs.
is a business that's built on, you know, warehouse selling, mass producing things and selling them without any customer interaction. And I guess that's my point, is like, I'm fine, you know, my target pharmacist is, you know, my son's 25, is known as probably 25 years. And I go into there to pick up, and I end up leaving with, you know, 10 other things from Target. You know, Amazon, there's no human interaction. They have no idea who you are, and they're sending your drugs through the mail, and, you know,
Oh, they have suggestions. Most people buying drugs buy this, and this. Because up on the screen.
I was thinking more from the perspective of actually keeping the physical stores. Like, what would keep the stores open? And it might be those highly regulated drugs. Like,
it's me who
my
buys
God.
10 other
No.
things when I go in there
I think
just
it's
for.
a-
yeah, you're keeping the store open. Yeah,
It's a pendulum thing. We've gone back to the Sears catalog.
yeah.
Because my generation, the Sears catalog was like, oh my God, when you're done with that, I need that catalog, I'm gonna read.
Yeah.
It was like going to because the stores didn't exist. Then the stores came, and the catalog went out the window. Now we're going back to computer catalog. Now it's a computer catalog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I got the Amazon toy wish list, I don't have anybody in my house that, you know, buying toys for per se, but I got my Amazon toy wish list.
Well,
The
I
thing
remember taking my granddaughter, the oldest one, this 10, 12, it's got to be 10 years ago. And we took her to Toys R Us. And she was overwhelmed, overwhelmed completely by the amount of toys they had in that building. And she didn't want to, I love this place, I want to stay, look at this, look at. And we had to only place we ever had to drag her out of. She was good as gold until we got to Toys R Us. She wouldn't
It's
leave
a
the
shock
store.
to her system.
Ran away and
Yeah.
she's looking, oh, look at, they got this.
That's funny.
This was amazing.
You asked what's going to keep the actual buildings, and what she said is exactly right. They come in for their script, and they walk out with multiple items.
Right now, Halloween
The
candy.
drugstore's always in
Big,
the other end of the
huge-
building.
That's
Always-
right.
always in the
It's
back.
always in the corner,
Yeah.
and they have to walk by all the hell. I see them come by. You know, they have the little prescription bag, and then they come with a carriage full of things. So
And then they
that's
have-
the only thing that is going to.
The candy bars at the counter when you're checking out.
But again, with
Last
the
thing you need at the drugstore, a candy bar.
mail order is it's all about insurance. What insurance is going to pay for, and if they're going to pay at certain places, and the docs have to be affiliated with them. It's just
But when they find a way to sell you more stuff when you're getting your drugs, they're gonna do that.
well, I say watch TV. can't even comprehend that these docs are on there saying, oh, you need to take this or you can take that. You don't need to go to an urgent care. Just get this package and you can get your amoxicillin, you can get, oh my God, your Bactrim and everything. And don't worry, there'll be a little instruction on you can prescribe to yourself. Now, there must be an amazing, clause that they have no liability. I'd love to see that comes with every box. It's probably bigger than everything in the box as far as medications. Who do they think is capable of doing that? Their audience, because the average person that has a thought in their head isn't going to diagnose for themselves and prescribe for themselves and assume that they know whether they need amoxicillin or Keflex or Cipro or whatever the antibiotic is. They know there are different antibiotics for different conditions. So the whole thing frightens me when who are these people and who's ordering these things online? All these medications, all these generic Ozempics.
Well, with AI's coming, okay, and what's going to have...
Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
There'll be a little icon comes up, and for woman, it'll be a fireman. Linda, is there anything else I can help you with? Anything else anything else? And for guys, there'll be a big...
What do you recommend?
A big bosomed girl will come up and say, Mike, anything else I can help you with? AI's coming.
It is. And it's going to be so difficult for people to even look at Facebook,
people.
look at online.
They're fake people. Now when you go to a website and a little chat thing comes up, can I help you? That's a computer talking to you.
Yes.
We are in trouble as far as that goes, because scams they're tough for people that are not tech savvy. It's tough for them to recognize, even like a fake email or a fake text. If you don't understand the wording that comes along, like if you've grown up with email and text like your whole life, you understand that's not how somebody writes something. You push that off as fake, right? And particularly older people or anybody not involved in like the tech world have a tough time with that stuff. Now, forget about it, because like you said, there's a real video of a handsome guy or a really good-looking girl, and we don't stand a chance.
Over the weekend, there was this little kiddo.
What's real and what's not.
This little kiddo on Facebook, and he looked like he has special needs, and it says, "It's my birthday. Wish me happy birthday." So what the heck? I'll say happy. Now, of course, it was from Elon Musk sent me this message. Elon's a good friend of mine. He sent me the message.
Yeah.
So then my friends start saying, "It's AI. It's AI. It's AI." Before the end of the day, Elon Musk is promising to send me $205,000.
Yeah.
Not just $200,000, he's sending me $205,000. So thank you, Elon. Good guy.
Claiming to be Elon Musk, using a disabled child to get your emotions.
Hey, don't laugh. 205 grand coming in my name.
We are in trouble in that way.
Only on a holiday weekend.
Scammers
Mike.
are gonna.
It's a holiday weekend.
Yeah. That's
I got
gonna be tough
an
to
email
figure out.
yesterday saying my passport had expired. And I looked and, it had, again, been trained to look at, click the thing and see what
Where'd they get
the
your
email
where'd they get your
is.
email?
They get the, look at things. And I was looking at it and I was going, it almost looks pretty valid. And except for I have my passport right here in front of me because I was doing my stuff for my real ID. And so I had my passport in front of me, and I go, lo and behold, my passport doesn't expire till 2029. But, according to this email, I got my passport expired, and I can click here to start my renewal process. And it had a .gov in the email. It was pretty good.
The government doesn't send email though.
I was going to say, the government doesn't send mail. They're certainly not sending email either.
Yeah.
I can't, I don't know when my license expired. I almost let my license lapse, and I was traveling. It only happened to be that I looked, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to be traveling. I better get that license renewed. But, yeah. So they're getting better and better and better.
There's a big scam with the gift cards, and
Yeah.
I haven't figured out what they're doing with them, actually. But they all, I mean, people, and they're targeting elderly. They're coming in and they're all buying $500 gift cards. Apple.
Well, somebody's getting,
Oh my
Apple.
God.
somebody's getting gift cards.
Do you try to
I always say,
put them onto it?
yeah, oh, yeah, oh, no, I'm fine. And there's nothing.
My granddaughter's in a jail in Guatemala.
They don't even say
Yeah.
that. No.
No, now
And
they
I-
just want
and
gift
I
cards.
say to them, I try to get, and I say, well, are you buying a new phone? I mean, they're specific. They're Apple or they're
Is that right?
Amazon.
Yeah, that's always seen a lot.
And who needs a $500 gift certificate every day? Every day.
To clear, and it's
And
weird.
you
Wow.
can't, and what ends up happening is if I chat with them then they don't come back and
They go someplace
I
else.
I see them come when I'm not there or when I'm getting off. They know the shifts or when somebody else asks them, they always look for the new person.
I'm with you. Sad.
But you can't talk, the people just say, oh, no. And I know they're embarrassed, I guess, I don't know.
That's what I was
But
going to ask. Do you feel like they're embarrassed to
Yeah.
to come up to you again? Yeah. Wow.
I mean, how many, when they come up every day, my nephew, I'm buying a birthday present, how many nephews could you possibly have that need $500? Apple. What is it with the Apple gift cards? If anybody knows, please let me know. I don't know what it is specifically that they can do with they're all obviously
Well, they gotta
probably
all
just
go
a
buy new
particular-
phones or new
selling
whatever.
them, selling the
Well,
cards.
it's high value, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they know that's an easy high value ticket that they. You know,
Right.
I think it's not probably nothing
Or
other
for
than
kids,
that.
yeah, I
you know.
suppose everybody's got a phone.
Yeah, you can
Well, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
and you can sell them, and
Yeah.
you know that you're going to get a return for that, and they're wanted, I guess.
The other thing that's amazing to me is there's a fee for like the Amazon ones.
A fee, like a
Yeah,
at
so if
purchase.
it's 500, it's 500 and,
Oh, yeah, the Visa
Nine.
and those that you
Yeah.
buy now
Wow.
in the
so they've always
Service
paid.
fee.
retail
Yeah.
store, they charge a service fee to
That's money
activate
that-
it, activate the card.
That is money that just
But they're not activated.
poof into the atmosphere. That
Like if you go
Just
to
disappears.
Hannaford and buy a Visa gift card, you're charged, for $25, you're charged like $25.95 or whatever, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because there's an activation fee, because who knows where it's coming from or who's getting the money.
And also with some of the cards that they're filling, like the jingle cards and stuff that they put money on, some of them they have to pay a fee.
What's a jingle card?
You get this credit card and you bring it somewhere and you get it filled. Like you come up and you give me $500 and you put it on your jingle card. Now you can use this just like a regular debit card.
Yeah.
Except it's not got any of your personal information.
Does
It
it
doesn't
jingle?
have. Well, this jingle, there's all different ones. And,
There's a jingle when you use it.
He's asking.
no, you can use it anywhere. You
musical.
use it in restaurants, you use it particularly people use them at gas stations, because then your private information isn't,
it's just like a prepaid.
yeah,
Prepaid.
that's
yeah.
what they are.
Yeah,
And,
sort of, right.
and that's, to me, makes a lot of sense, actually. Then you're not worried about hacking.
And the sad thing is they've pitched it to like, this will teach your child, financial responsibility, because they can only spend what's on their card or
Yeah.
do this,
Except they've already learned how to hack the jingle cards, I'm sure.
right, yeah.
So, anyway, that's.
So we're running out of time. Tomorrow's show, we got Jay Lang's coming from Chelmsford. He's Chelmsford Superintendent of Schools. He's got always entertaining, smart guy. I like it when Jay comes. He could talk all over the clock. But Evelyn Thorne's going to be the host. Bobby Hoey's not going to be here. He's not feeling tip-top yet. He's getting there. Sam Chase, he should be back tomorrow, Sam Chase. That's tomorrow, City Life. As time is shot, Linda.
How are things in Oz? I haven't heard much about Oz lately.
Everything's great.
I
on
haven't
Oz.
heard from Tom. I hope he's listening.
Everything's going great. No complaints.
Chelmsford usually is. They really are. on top of everything. But it looks like now, Tewksbury Chelmsford is catching up with the dogs. They have multiple dog events there for Halloween that you can bring your pets and get pet treats.
You'll be dressing your dog up, sneaking him down there, see?
I don't think Hollybug would go for that.
So look, before we run out of time, Linda, what's your favorite candy bar?
My favorite candy bar.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Favorite candy bar?
Oh, I guess right now it'd have to be that new Reese's Oreo.
Ooh,
Reese's, I have not tried that.
Yeah,
sounds good.
it is very good, and they have Reese's cookies now that are Oreo. They're with Reese's peanut butter in the middle.
How does a Reese's Oreo even come? Is
It's
it
in a
like covered in an Oreo covered
Yeah.
in chocolate?
Yeah.
With peanut butter?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So peanut butter Oreo.
So Mike, what's your favorite candy bar?
Gotta be Snickers, I think.
Oh,
Kind of always has been. Chocolate,
Yeah.
chocolate nuts, the whole deal.
Hillary,
Snickers.
what's your favorite? You got a favorite?
I do. I like almond joy but I also like $1,000 grand bar. So I don't know. Probably just depends on the mood.
Good stuff.
Trying not to eat candy bars.
How about you,
lately.
John?
Well, I'm liking the little baby almond joys. I'll steal those out of my grandkids'
It's funny. My daughter said
Sack
the other
of
day.
candy.
She said, when I got the bag of candy, she said, "Who even eats almond joys?" I do.
Yes,
Get over
it's a generational thing, I guess.
I go, I love them.
Yeah, I do too.
And the parents
coconut.
like them. That's why they throw them in with the Reese's and everything. It's for the parents. That's
Yeah.
the parent tax of Halloween.
Everything's coming with dark chocolate also. Reese's has all kinds of dark
I
chocolate.
don't care for dark chocolate like other people.
But I like to provide a variety on my Halloween candy give out because I do
Oh.
like a good Sour Patch. So I like to have a variety
Do you have
of
many
candy.
customers?
Not as many in recent years. When my kids were little, we used to get about 100. Now we're down to, maybe 40.
How about you, Mike? You get a lot of customers on Halloween?
My neighborhood itself is mobbed, but we just live on a little cutout
Yeah.
between a bunch of streets that connect through, so we don't get as
Get
many.
neglected? Okay. How about
But
you,
my
Linda?
neighborhood is packed, though.
You get a lot of Halloween customers?
I'm displaced. I'm up in Merrimack now with Dorian takes his children out. Nice
gonna have
day.
fire out there,
I
especially in
stay and get
Scarecrow
the candy
outfit?
at his house, so I don't know what's happening in Tingsboro.
Have Vire out there in a scarecrow outfit, giving them out. All right, hey, we're out of time, kids. Say goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you for getting up, both of you. Very interesting, and look forward to talking again. Everybody, have a happy Wednesday. It's a little chilly out there, but it's going to get warm at the end of the week.
Happy birthday, Moose.
Oh, yes, happy birthday to your dad.